Well, I think Donovan's developed some relationships with a few guys that that everybody would want to reach out to. That began in the summertime, where he worked out with some guys in the league that that we all would look to. Players see the game in a unique way, and I think as coaches, we often try to. I watch players, and often, sometimes they're the best teachers. They don't always articulate what they're doing, but the guys he's talking to obviously do. So my point, I guess, is when you see a player do something, as a coach, you try to note it and then basically look for an opportunity to teach it. And in Donovan's case, I think it's great. He's going to get a perspective. We obviously tried to to help him, and Johnny in particular, myself. But there's always something unique, and if he can take take some advice or some counsel from a Chris Paul or somebody, I think I learned as much from Kobe in the time that I was around him, and I know Donovan spent some time with Chris at his camp this summer. So I think it's terrific. I don't think Donovan's searching elsewhere, because he's confused or anything. He's just trying to learn, and those are great guys to learn from. And I have complete trust in him and his ability to kind of take what he needs.
Donovan also shared that Epe was the one that kind of spurred him on. It seems something interesting that at different positions and kind of.
Well, Epe is one of the guys in the league that I'd look to. I think Epe's got a unique feel for not just the group, but his life experience is such that. I think he's someone that looks at Donovan and sees things that, as a player that, he can respond to and talk to him in a way that sometimes coaches or, obviously every teammate's got a unique perspective, and I like that. And the more your team is communicating, the more they're listening to each other, and, that dialogue, usually has a really positive impact.
Coach, I know you guys obviously focus on a nice game, but, it's been a lot of talk about, Igor, and being in the coaching and running. I know any thoughts on that at all, or what's your...
I think Igor is capable of doing two things at once, and the fact that it's a credit to him. I've told him for a number of years that I think he's a head coach in the NBA, and I think, it's taken him some time to see himself that way because he's just been focused on doing his job. And I think as, particularly last summer, I think he always knew he was talented, but he's very humble. And I think this past summer, he had an opportunity and got an experience that I think helped him grow even more. And, obviously he's someone that I rely on, and our whole staff does. So it's obviously deserving and something we're excited about, him having that opportunity. Whether it happens or not, I think people understand that he's someone that's going to be in consideration for jobs, not just this year, but as years to come.
There's probably a level of unfamiliarity going into this series just because you haven't played in so long, but now after 2 games, is that all gone? You guys are as familiar as you can be with each other?
I think it continues, but certainly more familiarity now than previously. It's hard to, you try to anticipate things people are doing. You don't really, you can overthink things to a certain degree, and that said, you have to be able to react, and both as players and coaches, and that's going on everywhere. But in the end, there's some fundamental things that both teams know they have to do to be successful, and sometimes the familiarity and playing a couple games reminds you even more about the quote-unquote keys to the game, in addition to all the nuances that can change game to game.
I know Donovan's not your normal rookie, but were even you surprised at the poise and the composure he had in that fourth quarter of that game, and being in a situation he's really never experienced before?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's in the moment. I don't think he's coming out going, "Wow, this is new." I mean, the way that we may think, either before or after, kind of how will he react? How did he react? He's just playing the game, and I think he likes to play, and I think we're trying to put him in situations that he's comfortable in. He's become comfortable in a lot more situations, and I think the moment is something that that he enjoys, and I think really our whole team appreciates the situation we're in right now, and Donovan happens to be, a guy that's doing a lot of creating for us late, but I think our group appreciates the moment.
Were there a lot of defense adjustments made between 1 and 2, or was it a matter of them just not making the contested shots they were making?
There's always adjustments, but they're a terrific team, and obviously Melo and Paul George and Westbrook, those guys, you're gonna try to do a good job, and they're gonna make it look easy at times, and there's times where guys just miss shots, and you just have to control the things that you can control. I mean, they're capable of coming out, and we do some things that we think can help us, and that it doesn't matter, so that doesn't mean you don't try and try to put yourself or your guys in a position where they can make it hard, but also to understand sometimes good defense, better offense, and we're aware of that, and they're capable of doing that, and we feel good about the fact that we won a game, and we know we're fortunate in many respects, but we feel like we just need to keep doing what we do and hopefully do it better.